Last week, we heard from Gail Matthews about her first being diagnosed with lung cancer and its treatment. This week, we hear from her about its rearing ugly head again in her life. Gail?
Now, I had said that I was a never smoker, ever. I didn't even go in high school and try to test it out when the other girls were testing it out. I just didn't like the smell. And in fact, started with the League of Women Voters and a very good dear friend in Massachusetts, the no smoking in restaurants. I would walk out if there was smoking in restaurants. So I was never a smoker. When I went to Dr. Sugarbaker, one of the things I found out in my exam was that non-smokers, tall white women who never smoked, get lung cancer at a higher rate than a smoker. Now go figure. But fast forward to probably 5 years ago, lung cancer is now mentioned. It was not mentioned. It was a stigma. In fact, people would come up to me and say, well, you smoked. And even a smoker shouldn't have lung cancer. So Lung Cancer Alliance is something I found through research. And they were a little tiny office out in Seattle, Washington. And they have grown so big, and they're in Washington, D.C. now, and they lobby for research to be done on lung cancer. They do so much for lung cancer, and if you do have lung cancer, you can call them and they will put you in touch with a buddy who will help you through it all. You can survive today with lung cancer, and the reason you can is not only the work they've done, but because they've come up with new treatment. It's called targeted treatment, and they can find out what kind of lung cancer you have. And as I said, mine was bronchoalveolar carcinoma, and they can target that treatment, and you won't have to go through. While I was in the hospital, I decided that the nurses were really stressed and doing an incredible job. And I called the head of the nurses into my room. Here I am, hooked up with stuff. And I said, I hear that the nurses have not been appreciated since 1923. There is no program to say how great they are. So I want to start something. And I gave out I was in a mask, all my orders as to what we were going to do. And we were going to honor the nurses, and we were going to give scholarships, and we were going to put their names up on a plaque on the wall, and we were going to give them whatever they needed. I found out that the nurses had to run back and forth to their station to get the little thing that goes on your hand to do oxygen, so we gave them that. And then I found out that they didn't have a refrigerator on their floor to keep medicines that have to be refrigerated, and they had to go run and do that. Well, they're running all the time, everywhere. And so we got a refrigerator for there. And then the surgeons and the doctors had a library, but there was not a library for the nurses, so we got a library for them. And then we started a lecture, and we pointed out everything that they did, and this has continued since 2000. There still is a nurse's appreciation, and at one point I got a bronze bench, a sculpture with a little girl and a little boy reading a book, and it says, I want to be a nurse when I grow up. Leahy put that at the front door, so when you walk in, this is what you see with a garden around it. But the thing that's so cute about it is that the nurses have taken this to heart, and they knit caps in the wintertime and a scarf and put it on the little boy and little girl. They received all sorts of national awards for the work that they were doing. They went to a new level of nursing. And the other thing that really touches me is the fact that somebody saw that it was an appreciation of nurses in the bench and the two children. And they gave $1.5 million to the appreciation fund for the nurses. It just inspired people. And this is what we've got to do. When lemons are thrown in our life, you've got to turn it to lemonade. And that's just been the way I've been, and other people inspire me. Trust me, they really do.
Thanks, Gail, and thanks for letting us know about this terrible disease and the hope for the future treatment during Lung Cancer Awareness Month. Next week, we'll be right back here as Keith Coughlin joins me again to tease their lineup for next summer here at the New London Barn Playhouse. John Mortimer, the race director of the Capitol Wells Sunapee Triathlon, will wrap up this year's event. Andrew Bollock, the executive director of the Kearsarge Indian Museum, will tell us about their fundraising auction. And we'll close with a revisit of the piece we did with Barbara Sullivan on the Sunapee livery rebuild. Don't miss our football game of the week at ycnnow.com with replays on WYCX every Sunday and Monday at noon and 5 p.m. This week, we'll be showing the Division IV Championship featuring Newport. Our games are brought to you by H.R. Clough, LaValley's Building Supply, Barton Insurance, Bubba's Bar and Grill, and Echo Communications. Other programming on WYCX's Outside Television includes original shows featuring the most exciting extreme sports from rock climbing, biking, water sports, and of course skiing. I'm Abby Peel. Tune in at this same time next week for another Yankee Chronicle. Stay safe, everyone.